If streamers banded together and everybody were to not stream in the duration of the ban of one of the members in the union, if you had enough big streamers together, Twitch would rethink their policy incredibly quickly.
For sure.
Those
But I don't think
quarterly
that'll ever
numbers
happen.
on like viewer hours watched and like unique viewer hits and everything are incredibly important to Twitch. And banning one person for a week and having like 20 to 100 big streamers drop would very quickly bring them around to like, okay, hold on, maybe we're fucking morons when it comes to our, you know, like ban policies. Like they would change it immediately. You would see it happen overnight.
What's happening?
Are you pissed, Steven? Like, are you upset? Like, to the point where you want to message some fellow big streamers and be like, can we fucking do something about this?
For what?
What are
You're
you talking
banned.
about?
No, streamers don't give a fuck. Streamers are stupid as
No, you get banned and you take it on the chin, homie, and you
Mhm.
move on.
Like that, man.
You
Jesus
say the caught me
Christ.
slipping, and you move on.
No.
organization
like,
requires
normal
like some
workplace.
level of like intellectual competence. This is why I don't have faith in worker-owned co-ops or whatever. Workers are stupid as fuck, and streamers are workers. They're too stupid to unionize.
I would say streamers on average are dumber than the average worker.
Probably.
So, dare I ask this? I feel like I know the answer, but do you have bounties or not?
I don't know if I'm ever getting bounties down.
I thought you got them back.
He said that the brand safety team would look into it. But since I have
And
a
then he got
severe
banned.
infraction, they don't know because they have to take that into account, whatever the fuck that means.
Hey,
I think-
Charlife. Go ahead, Hoot.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think like if the brand and safety team are looking into it, that's code for just get.
Yeah, probably.
Charlife, there's nothing stupid about that question. Like, these are people's livelihoods. I don't give a fuck that Twitch has an image to uphold. I don't care that they have fucking sponsors to take care of. At the end of the day, these are people's livelihoods and images.
Like
that are being
anything having
fucked
an
over
image
by
to uphold, it's bullshit. Twitch doesn't give a fuck about
Cool. Then if that's the case,
whether
it's
or
even
not.
fucking
Yeah,
worse.
like I've never seen a mainstream article like NBC article on Twitch stream www.twitch.tv/Sephiroth XXX420. A penis appeared for 0.2 seconds. Like everybody at Twitch is trying to get responses. Like nobody has any idea what's going on. Like it's never
Behold
happens.
the
Stupid as
smartest
fuck.
of all streamers.
Cool.
The
Then
only thing they get articles are like cat throwing and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but then Twitch doesn't ban for it.
Or like laughing at people getting evicted. Like, yeah.
Did you get an article?
No.
Oh,
I could have though. Definitely. That was article worthy.
like
think I went
Pokey
a
has
little bit
Twitch in the
too-
palm of her fucking hand. All she needs to do is like jump on board, protest for a couple days, and something might actually fucking happen.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so?
Give a fuck.
Not at
She
all.
could leave at a heartbeat and get millions from some other platform
I
and
don't think.
survive.
No. If streamers banded together and everybody were to not stream in the duration of the ban of one of the members in the union, if you had enough big streamers together, Twitch would rethink their policy incredibly
Oh, for
quickly.
sure.
Those
But I don't think
quarterly
that'll ever
numbers
happen.
on like viewer hours watched and like unique viewer hits and
tank.
everything are incredibly fucking important to Twitch. And banning one person for a week and having like 20 to 100 big streamers drop would very quickly bring them around to like, okay, hold on, maybe we're fucking morons when it comes to our, you know, like ban policies. Like they would change it immediately. You would see it happen overnight.
Would you have a tribunal of the union that decides if a ban was warranted or not? And if it was warranted, you wouldn't have people go on strike?
I mean, you could
I
set
don't
it up
think
a
it could
million
work,
different ways,
no.
but basically, like, you would probably have, like, a union head that communicates with Twitch. You'd probably talk to union members, or you'd vote on it somehow or whatever. And if they feel like there's a ban that's, like, done in bad faith or it's a stupid ban, then the union would agree on it. The head would communicate with Twitch, like, hey, we're striking, get banned. And then Twitch would come out and either try to negotiate so that that union member didn't get banned,
Or
or-
reduce the ban, or da-da-da-da.
or something like that. Yeah, that's the whole point, is you would have, like, bargaining power, because now you've got, like, a larger pool of talent that's potentially getting banned with you.
Like, and here's the thing, man. Like, we're talking about a lot of viewership and a lot of money lost when someone doesn't get to stream for a week or a day. There's a whole lot of like no communication. Like this, I'm not even calling for a fucking union, but the way that these people are treated, this is shit that just doesn't stand in a normal workplace nowadays. Like, you can't just randomly tell someone, hey, you don't come to work for a fucking week and you don't get any money.
Well, that's because
Like,
you're
you
not
could-
an employee at Twitch, you're a contractor, so it's a little different.
Yeah,
Do you-
you know, I know why they're allowed to operate that way, but it's still fuck.
This union could only be top streamers, you know that, right? Because it would seem fucked, like if you're just a smaller streamer saying, hey, soda
Depends
Papa
how you
got
run
banned,
the-
so you can't.
Depends on how you run the union.
Well, I mean, are you gonna expect Soda or Pokey to stop streaming because fucking Harkdan got banned unjustly for a day? Do you
Well, it
think that's
depends on
ever
like
gonna...
what happened. Because it
Depends.
might
What if
happen to them
what if the
later.
union has
Yeah.
everybody paying dues? In that case, then yeah, the union's literally making money off of people. So yeah, you probably would. But I mean, yeah, there'd probably be like a limit to like how many people. But like the idea would be that like the thing is the point of the union, Dan, is that you would never get banned
I
then.
understand-
because Twitch
I
is never going to
understand the
ban you
point.
if it means like 20 top streamers not stream. You literally could do whatever the fuck probably, and they're not going to ban you unless you're like killing people on stream.
Even then, right?
Well, anyways, it doesn't. It's a nice pipe dream. There's no fucking chance it'll ever go into play. Zero fucking chance.
Well, I really want to know if like any big streamer has ever like gone around. Like Steven, maybe you can say, has anyone ever come to you and said, "Hey,
Yeah,
I
there have
really
been
wanna look
tons
for
of people that
something"?
talk about putting together unions and shit, but it's the reality is that streamers are already need to be babysat for everything. If you're a manager in this industry, that means you're a glorified babysitter. You've got to hassle like talent over and over and over again to get them to show up
True.
for things, to get them to wake up on time to do anything, to get them to plug spot. You have to have people that set up their overlays and their Twitch graphics on it because they can't do it themselves. Like they would be a fucking nightmare to babysit those people through that. I imagine it's probably like a union in real life. It would be a fucking nightmare to get people on board with that.
I just don't think you would get Twitch streamers to do it.
Well, I think you'd have the
would
issue
get-
even if they agreed to it that like someone gets banned and then everybody's supposed to go on strike. You're gonna get like one or two of them, like the big streamers. You're like, man, fuck that. Like I'm not going on strike. I'm just gonna keep streaming, get amazing viewer numbers. Like fuck it, homie, and then kind of get fucked.
Well, then you blow them out of the union. You fuck them up.
Well, I guess you kick them out, but then like
Tell them nobody in the
They
union's
say,
allowed to
okay.
associate with them. They're scabs. Fuck them.
I
Yep.
hate that fucking term.
If I could offer, using the comparable example to the film industry, the thing that did unionize the members was not so much union negotiation, but guild benefits like healthcare, which is of course probably a big issue for anyone who contracts in the United States.
What about it?
Healthcare, like most Twitch people on Twitch are
Mhm.
contractors, and the way that like things like SAG and stuff like that were able to organize very quickly was less so like the negotiating power of their systems. It was more the ability to collectively get benefits that they normally wouldn't get as contractors, notably healthcare.
Oh,
There.
sure, but
That-
I don't think
that-
that's
that-
not what most
that could
streamers
be-
are like so ass-pained about. It's usually like the random bans and shit. I don't think streamers care about like healthcare as much.
Well, if the theory is correct about how streamers are going to go, like YouTubers, their average age is going to increase, and as more of them get above a certain age, they're going to start needing healthcare.
Yeah,
Potentially.
when maybe in like
So
20
no.
years, but that's that we're still like pretty far off from that, I think.
It's
that-
just an idea.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, negotiating certain benefits is a way that a union could like rally around, but right now it's I think the bans.
Hypothetically, let's say that today someone was setting this up and they had 20. Yeah, I'll put it at 20. There's like 75 to 100 pretty big streamers.
Mhm.
Let's say they had 20 of them said, "Yeah, I'll join this union. I'll stop streaming whenever someone gets banned unjustly."
Mhm.
Would you sign on to that? And would you stop streaming if, like, let's say Wes was in it and you thought this was an unjust ban? Would you not stream when he was doing it?
If I had like 20 other big streamers on it, yeah, 100%, of course, for sure.
The
do you
key
think there
thing.
should be like some sort of vote like among like the streamers, like if this is like a worthy issue or whatever?
Yeah, sure. If it's a worthy ban, if
Yeah.
Wes goes onto his stream and he starts calling like black people the N word or some shit, it's like, okay, well you're banned or whatever. But like for that last like insult or whatever, that being an indefinite suspension, yeah, that would be. If I had like 20 other big streamers on board, I would love to not stream. I'd feel great not doing it. I could work in real life or go out and do something or vacation Andy or whatever. Yeah, I would just not stream. Sure.
Or just throw shit like on your vlog on YouTube or something.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel other people, if you had to guess, like if you were to approach other streamers, do you think they would also want to join?
I don't know if they would have the foresight to care at all. That's why I think it would never work. I don't think you'd ever get a streamer union because most streamers would just like, oh well, I'll just stream and get all the viewers, or it's not worth it. I don't know what I gain or whatever. It'd be dumb shit like that.
Tragedy
They'll
of
just
the
say like
commons.
I'm not gonna get banned,
Mhm.
so why do I have to worry about? Yeah.
If you ran it, let's say you were the union head, Steve, what would be your definition of something being a fair versus unfair ban? Like, what would you say for you getting banned for like showing a dick on stream? Or what about when Pokey showed like a cock on stream for like 10 seconds or whatever? Like, where do you draw the line on that? Saying we should all.
Well, I mean, basically,
this is
you would have to, as part of your union, you would have to draft a contrary TOS or a contrary enforcement of the TOS, and then you would hold things to those standards. So, because the only reason you'd be protesting a ban is if you felt like Twitch either wasn't following its standards or was enforcing something different. So maybe you look at the actual TOS and you say something along the lines of, like, I don't think an accidental nude ought to warrant a ban. Maybe you say something like that. Like if you show a nude on screen for less than 2 seconds, right? Then in that case, anytime somebody gets banned for that, it'd be pretty like exact. Like you would know, like, oh yeah, that's definitely something, right? I imagine if you had this union, you'd probably have either a tribe, like 3 or 4 people that would discuss it as part of that'd be like their job to make sure that it like meets your whatever TOS standards, like your separate draft standards or whatever, and then they would be the deciding people. But
Do we even need to go to the union first? Like, why not, just protest a ban when it happens? To get a bunch of people together to do that. That's got to be relatively easy to get.
You need to have
5
someone
big
in charge,
streamers.
Lycan.
You would need like a big
work.
Discord group, and then have someone in charge to rally
Sure.
the streamers.
Yeah.
Well,
the
no.
hardest
The
part is
problem,
rallying the streamers around.
the problem is what Doug said earlier when he came in. He said tragedy of the commons, right? The problem is that if other people stop streaming, unless you've got like a really good reason to join them, like people are just gonna keep streaming and soak up the extra viewers. Like, why the fuck would they join your? Yeah, you have to have some way to compel them.
Are none of
Now,
you guys
there's-
actually friends, like real friends?
No streamers
Very
are
few
real
people in this industry actually give a fuck about each other. Yeah.
Even if like streamers like become friends, like it's mostly just for content. I feel like
It's really
and
fucking
they'll turn
sad.
on each other. It's really weird. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, one
May
thing
I
that
join
could
to
motivate
discuss
that
the
could be a
affiliate
countervailing
partner
force to this,
contract?
something the guilds were able to do is in the same way there was multiple studios that they negotiated with, there are multiple streaming platforms. The bigger threat could be less a protest and more like, hey, we now can collectively bargain to get a higher rate if we all go to Mixer.
That gets
20 of the
more
biggest-
that gets more complicated because most of the
true.
oh, sorry, Torringtons, I love you. We're not. This is never gonna happen. I don't want to have like a long drawn out discussion about this. But I love you, buddy. The problem you run into there is that a lot of these streamers are going to be under contract from different agencies. So like getting them to collectively threaten to move to another platform is going to be impossible because different agencies are going to have them under different collective contracts based on who they belong to. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I didn't realize CRMs were not CRMs. The collective agencies were still really big, but I empathize. Like, if for anyone curious, like, campaign work is just completely crippled by the inability to unionize because jobs are so competitive and there's so much money on the line for a lot of campaign jobs. There's been rampant abuse and no effects at unions or guilds. No effective use.
Would agencies not want the union? Because like then their streamers not streaming, not making the money.
Well, agencies
they
wouldn't
want
want
the money?
unions because agencies want to have all the negotiating powers themselves. They don't like
Yeah.
right now. Like if let's say that I could get banned, but let's say an agency says, "Hey, I've got connections at Twitch. Like this isn't going to
I'll
happen."
talk
Like,
to them for you.
Yeah. Why the
Yeah.
fuck would they want to give that power up like to other?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, to a union.
Do you know of any agencies? I'm not asking to out them. Do you know of any that do this?
I can't. Say
You can't
that.
say one way or the other.
Okay.
I will say that like any large like content management group or like talent management agency, all of these guys are going to have people in their agencies that have connects that go really far up. So any big streamer management group, any big YouTube management group are going to have connections like at Google or at Twitch. That's just always
To
been
where
the
they could
case.
get like a real answer.
Yeah, where they could get like something flipped that might otherwise not be.
Like, that's the shit that's the most frustrating is when someone gets left in the dark, when no one gets a straightforward answer, when it's blatantly inconsistent. Like, the fact that, like, I have nothing against Pokey. This isn't some stupid meme. But, like, the fact that she showed that when other people have in good faith, like, do you think your Alibrow showing was in bad faith? No.
No, okay, hold on. So the Pokey thing, so my understanding is that, although I've heard different things, my understanding is that you get one warning. So if Pokey had, I think there was a big dick on her stream one time, if that was the only time it's ever happened, then she probably got her one warning and that was it. I don't think she's violated other than that, though, right? Like, everybody's supposed to get one, I think. I think it's supposed to be one warning every 90 days, but apparently that's not the case. Or one warning every year or something, I'm not sure, but...
That's fine. I'm down for that. Like, my whole thing is that I think that they should operate a lot more on warnings. Like, these suspensions are the things that are just nuts to me. Like, in a real workplace, if you do something fucked up, you get a notification that says, hey, you know, don't do that. You do it again, we're gonna have a chat. We might get put on a pip, something like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to happen at all with Twitch.
It's because it's different, bro.
Shouldn't we be like happy that? Oh, sorry. Dan.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Pokemon is worth like 10 destinies, if not 20, right? Like it's just a fucking fact.
That has nothing
mean,
to do with anything I
always-
just said. I literally just said if
No,
she's
no,
only
I'm
had
not-
one violation.
I'm
Yeah.
not disagreeing.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
disagreeing with
Pokemon
you.
could literally just stream porn and get away with it.
No,
like,
for
yeah.
sure, absolutely not. But there's a lot more behind the scenes there that they're willing to bend over backwards for her.
Yeah, a
than
little
they
bit,
would
sure, of
for
course.
That makes sense.
anyone
Yeah,
else.
absolutely. I don't discount that at all, but I mean, it still would be unfair. Like even then, like I as a streamer, like as someone at bucket, let's say Destiny's level versus Pokey, right? Like I'd be very upset if they treated him differently than Pokey.
Well, I feel like Pokey shouldn't have gotten banned, and I don't think Steven should have gotten banned either.
No, exactly. I agree with you too. I'm not asking for it to be banned. I'm asking for like a better treatment. So first, the two things I want are one, consistency, and two, more reasonable reactions to the shit that happens, right? Like if accidents happen, if something happens in good faith, fuck it, man. Let's have a little more mature. But when people say, yeah, but they have sponsors to worry about, that's when that comes out. When people say, you know, oh yeah, that happened, but you know, I understand why Twitch did that. No, I don't at all. Like they don't need to react the way they do for 90% of the shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, her name is pronounced Pokemon. Congratulations, guys. How would this union work? Isn't Twitch already improper? Wouldn't union just make the platform? I mean, well, the only thing I'm talking about right now is in ban negotiations. The reality is a union will never happen, so. What does the 18-year-old filter even do? Fuck all. I don't even know why it's on Twitch. I have no
Oh,
idea.
the
I know what it does.
The mature
It-
filter does nothing.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it does. It causes you to get less paying ads.
I
That's
doubt
all
it.
does.
I bet it doesn't. Because if that was true, why is there the completely same standard on community guidelines between like mature streams and non-mature streams? Like, or has
Well,
anybody
just
in the
if
history of
you-
Twitch ever gotten banned for like saying the F word, like fuck, like on like a non-mature rated
That's
stream?
not what let's imagine that you're trying to like target like younger viewers for like some game or something. You're gonna
Okay.
say, hey, I want to target all streams that don't have this. You know what I mean? Like you certainly would make more money. Not
I don't know if ads are actually pulled that way. I understand what you're saying conceptually. I just don't know if that's how it's. I would be surprised if that's how it actually works.
It would make sense, but we don't know if Twitch.
Like,
is a
does
good
Tim the
filter.
Tap Man like get like different types of ads than like Destiny or Bad Bunny or Lyric? I don't know if this is marked 18+. Like, do you actually get a different ad pool?
I think we know
The
that they don't.
18-year-old
At least they
warning
didn't
lets
used to
Dan
because of the
figure
Yemen
out which
thing, right? It was
streams to
happening on
watch.
every fucking stream.
Yeah, but that was an Amazon owned ad. That one doesn't.
Yeah, but is that Yemen show going to appeal to under 18 kids? That seemed more like a adult, like a.
It's like a more of an adult thing.
Yeah, but sure, but that's Amazon shit, and Amazon owns Twitch. They can just be like, pump this out to fucking everyone. This is our default ad when we don't have anything that will go there to do it. You know what I mean?
RTA,
You wanna know-
that wasn't me.
You want to know what the real meme shit is that after all this time, it's funny, nobody recalls Twitch on this. After all this time, do you understand that Twitch can't actually ban people? Did you realize that? Did you know that? They
Wait, what do you mean?
They don't actually have like they don't have anything built in on the back end to actually ban accounts. All they can do is they just push a
Oh,
button to like
yeah.
suspend them. Yeah, everything is done manually in Twitch's backend. Like you can tell because like it's never exactly 24 hours. It's never
like
exactly
23
1
hours,
week.
45
It's always
minutes.
some yeah. They probably have like emails to go out every morning where it's like, hey, you need to unban this guy this time of day or whatever. Like you know that's how they do it. That's why there's no difference between when somebody's banned for a set amount of time versus when they've got like a time ban or whatever. It's why sometimes when emails go out, like on every ban that I've got, it always says like it's an indefinite ban. It's because they don't have like an actual ban system in place. They just like they probably have a guy that like flips a switch to like mark your account as like suspended or not suspended, and then they send an email out. They've got like a script that's like, hey, remember? It's funny they don't even do it on like an actual script to unban the person. They probably have a script that emails somebody like an account manager or whatever to make sure to remind them to unban them
Yeah.
because the unbans are never done at the exact time they're supposed to be.
So Wes might have just gotten banned for like let's say 7 days or whatever, but he doesn't know because it says indefinite ban.
If nobody
to the
contacted him,
email,
that's
And then he
possible.
doesn't have like a contact, so he like gets fucked like that. So he
That's
doesn't know
possible.
how long he's banned. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Well, I mean, it's stupid, but
Mm-hmm.
Is it known how Twitch's company or organization is set up? Like, are they an agile?
Big black box. Oh, in terms of that, I don't know if there are like forums where they have like dev talk or whatever.
That's interesting.
they have like the dev stuff like a few days before TwitchCon, but I don't know if that means anything.
Well, like, do they have an agile? Do they have a Scrum set up?
I have no idea.
are
I'm sure
they
if you find
hyper
somebody that works at
siloed?
Twitch, like on Twitter or something, they might say it.
Eh.
It's just super frustrating to watch. Like, and this has nothing to do with the fact that I like you and I enjoy your shit, like, and or Wes even. It is just generally frustrating. Like when people were calling for Alinity to be banned, I didn't think she should be banned for like the cat thing. I thought that was a real fucking stupid overreaction on people's part, like on both parts, both the vodka and the chucking. So it's not like I just want certain people to get banned and certain people to not to. I just want consistency and a reasonable, level-headed response when someone's like, let's say that I were to ever fucking get back to like, late game numbers. Like, fuck, man, I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in this basket. Not when people are treating people like that, or
Yep.
when Twitch treats their streamers like that.
Sure.
I mean, is Mixer and YouTube Live still, or Facebook's version of this still considered seriously competitive, or is it pretty much given at this point that Twitch has the super majority?
They need well, Twitch has had a super majority for a while. The problem is when other platforms make investments, they always do it in big spurts where they'll buy up like 1 or 2 talent.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder sometimes if instead of spending like 30 million on a big talent, if they were to spend like 30 million and buy up like 100
bunch
to
of small streamers.
1,000,
Yeah.
like 100 to 500 favorite streamers, I feel like that would be so much better. But maybe not.
Or buy up a category, like a bunch of artists or something, and make it like
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so something I find interesting is there's been like the original version of all these things was like all hyper siloed. Like there was an arts version of live streaming content. There was obviously the pornographic version. There's this as gaming. There was an intent, like YouTube Live originally was more aimed at like live vloggy content, but then they realized money was on Twitch. They went focused on gaming. I do wonder if the strategy is to refocus on individual subject matters, or is it a challenge for like the entire project? Because it seems like live content gets difficult at this scale.
It's actually really hard to run trials on drugs that might actually work, because when people go to sign up for the trials, nobody wants your random shit or drug.